Hey everybody, we're going to be looking today at using one of my absolute favorite GarageBand for iOS features, something that we don't even have in Logic Pro 10. Hopefully we will get it eventually, but this is a way to program things like a classic 808, 909 sound and using a drum sequencer type interface. So what I have here is a song that we're going to add some stuff to, and here's the beginning. So I have a drum part on there, which I'm taking off, stripping it down because it's just the auto drummer, and I actually want to program maybe some of my own beats for this. So in order to get it there real easily, I'm going to do the whole share project to GarageBand for iOS. Let it burn. We're going to just call it that, but we're going to call it 909. It's going to do a bounce of this whole thing. And once it does that bounce, it's going to be uploaded to iCloud and immediately accessible by my GarageBand for iOS. This doesn't take too long, just a couple seconds here. Now, once we have this, it's really cool because once we have this, I can open it immediately on my phone. I can do the addition of whatever programming I want to do. I just save and close, and I'll close this project and reopen it, and those parts will then come in. So that's really the cool thing about this whole thing, is that it's so easy to get back and forth. It may take maybe a minute or two total of time out of my workflow, but that's hardly anything in the scope of everything that we're doing. Okay, so this is almost done. I should have shortened the overall project, but once it gets into that empty spot, it's a little bit quicker. There actually is something down there, it looks like an extra part that perhaps I had just moved out of the way at some point. So we'll let that finish. Once that's done, I've got GarageBand on my screen right now. It's converting that. Now it's uploading it, so it'll take just a second. But we're looking at this real time. I'm not going to skip ahead for this because I do want to see just how long this is going to take. So it's in the L. There it is. It just got there. So we're going to download it. So that wasn't very long at all. That was just a matter of seconds. Here's what we have now. The project has that song. And so we're going to push play. Tempo, everything's in there preserved. So now let's actually add our drum. And this is the beat sequencer option from our drum tab. So I'm going to come through here. We're going to change this from a modern 808. We're going to scroll down to the vintage drum machine's Roland TR-909. It comes with a pattern already programmed, but we're going to really quickly just scroll over and empty this to a new pattern. Click Done. And now we can come through and add different things. So let's turn it on. Now, what I love about this interface, so first of all, in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see it says Step On Off. That means I'm just turning on and off the notes. And then I've got velocity if I want, so I can actually change my velocity up and down. If I actually hold on this, it expands, and so we have a little bit more resolution. If I click on the arrow, you can see we have velocity, note repeat, chance, loop, start, end. So let's go through each of these. Note repeat means that we're going to have additional notes triggered in each of the squares, up to 8. This is actually a really cool stutter sound. So we can do maybe 2 if we wanted to. We could actually have the next one be more. So we go 4. So we can make whatever beat we want. Now we can actually come through and change a few other things as well. So chants. This is an interesting one. You can see if I put this up at like 85% for each of these, I can click and drag. That means there's an 85 or whatever percent chance that that note will play when it comes to it. So it'll change the pattern as it goes. Sometimes it'll play, sometimes it won't. More often than not, it will play. But it'll be a chance every time it hits that note. It'll do like a random chance. And then we can change loops for certain parts of this. So I can change this just to be a separate length than the rest. So now that I have this, I can come into our patterns. I could save the pattern. That becomes part of the building blocks for all of my projects. But if I want to add this to the song, I actually have to record this pattern in. So I'm going to hit record and let it add into the project.
Guess there's no one special to you, 'cause you leave your empty heart so full.
Now I think the pattern needs a little bit of work, but I think it's good for illustration point. What we would do then, say we want to add this back to our project. I'm just literally going to go back to our songs. It saves it automatically. And now I'm back in Logic on my computer. Let's close this. We'll save it. Let's just open Recent. It's going to reload all the files. It's going to say new tracks have been added to this project by GarageBand iOS. Do you want to import them? Yes. The first time you do this with any of these particular TR instruments, it has to download additional content that you don't even get when you download all of the normal content. It's additional content. This is an EXS24 instrument. And it's just these samples right there. So this is, again, special additional content you still get for free. And then we can push play in here.
Guess there's no one special to you, 'cause you leave your empty heart so full.
So that's the way we can incorporate these drum machines using that cool interface in GarageBand iOS, bringing that final track into Logic 10. You can see what the MIDI data looks like. All of the stuff I did is incorporated into it, the different level changes. All of that now is MIDI, which I can then manipulate in here, edit it, change it around, and then at any point I want, I can then reshare this project again into GarageBand for iOS. So if we wanted to do that again, I would just call it the same name to overwrite it, or you can leave it completely separate. It doesn't matter, but anything you do is going to get bounced down. So if I wanted it to change the different files, I would mute that, and so it wasn't going back out there. If I've made other changes, I would do this. Otherwise, I would just work on the project I have on iCloud, make some additional changes, and let that get brought in next time I open this up. So a lot of different options, a lot of nuances with this, but definitely a powerful way to work with some of these drum programming. And it's a really fun way with the visual interface and the multi-touch interface to incorporate some of that in. Okay, hope you enjoyed this, and we're going to be doing another video tomorrow. So enjoy, and I will see you soon.